Karen, unfortunately, this is the last part of Play Schemas, but I'm so excited to continue to learn from you and your wealth of knowledge and observing our children. So I'm excited to hear what the last few Play Schemas are more about.
Yeah, me too. Let's see, Play Schemas 3. Okay, what have we got here? So just to recap, play schemas are a pattern of play, and they're patterns of behaviour that allow children to really construct knowledge and understanding of how the world works in their way. It cuts across all abilities and disabilities. So we've looked at connection, trajectory, rotation, enclosing, enveloping, and orientation. So I think we're going to go and look at transporting, transforming, and positioning today. Let's have a look. So transporting. Kids just love moving themselves and objects to one place to another, and you lose everything. Hopefully you don't lose your child, but it's really important to have those opportunities for them to develop that feeling of moving and of moving things. So loose parts, I would put in the usual, the sort of beads, the pom-poms, the sticks and the lentils and the rice, lots of scoops, lots of containers, so they can understand. And there's loads of science going on there with, volume and all of that sort of sciencey stuff. Having lots of things like wheelbarrows, bags, prams, carts and sledges, really important for a child to feel independence, to move themselves and things to another place. This car, we got this car given. It was the best plaything ever. And because it had this little back boot in that they could fill with everything. So this was I remember this, it was yesterday, filling it with water and Lego bricks and stuff and transporting it all around the garden. Really important. And it was a collaborative play experience, which was lovely. So, sorry about that, transporting. There we go. So I've got some more photos of ideas around transporting. So having the little trolleys, a great thing. So you can develop role play from that. We used to go to the shops quite a lot with the little trolleys, the baby trolleys, and that was a lovely experience for them. But having the opportunity and having the receptacles to fill is really important, and it really promotes that independence, unless you're getting pulled by your sister on that sledge, but he loved it. There was not a snowflake in sight. I don't think we got any snow that winter, but the sledge came out and they enjoyed transporting each other. So transporting, it's an important one. I think all kids go through that. Some kids enjoy it more than others. Transforming. Now, this is a really creative one here. So how do you explain the act of transformation? Why don't you try mud pies? You've got soil, you've got water, it makes a fantastic mud pie. So it's about the child taking ownership of changing that material. So it could involve water, sand, colouring, slime. Children also like to transform themselves, as we know. So you can use paint, a washable paint, but also costumes and hats and things. So I think having those opportunities to transform things and themselves is really, really empowering. And children love to mix and combine things. So having sand and water with leaves and stones and things like corn flour and water that creates gloop, shaving foam. Those water beads are amazing, aren't they? Watching them grow and playing with those. Pasta, that's interesting, from hard to soft. Lots of different clothes, hats and wigs. And also a tool that we really liked was a pestle and mortar, sort of bashing things like seeds together and trying to make them into flour. Lots of, your utensils that have passed their sell-by date, stick them outside, try and make a mud kitchen on a table and let your kids play, I think. And I think when they're young, as I said before, try and make it edible. And if you don't like the mess inside, take it outside. It's the best thing to do. This car wash activity was quite an interesting one for us, because we had the shaving foam. We could put the shaving foam on the car. It would go through the car wash and they can clean it off with water. Mixing substances like sand and water play, making your own Play-Doh. It's not that hard, or buying some. putting some scent into it, remembering that sort of sensory seasoning, and using natural elements like flowers and leaves to create prints. We actually made some lovely animal prints from a living paintings book, which gives you the relief of pictures, and on the underside obviously you have the other side. So we made lots of animal prints and made lots of stories around animals and trails and things. So that was really lovely. And obviously transforming yourself or your brother into a sand monster is, you know, it's a great thing to do, and that feeling sitting in that sort of cold sand is quite nice on a hot summer's day. So transforming is important. Transforming yourself, you might let your child transform you in your hair, your makeup. It's a nice playful thing to do if you have the time and haven't got a meeting to go to. Moving on, we've got positioning here, which I think is our last one. Positioning is a really interesting schema. It's quite hard to see sometimes, but if your child is into sort of sorting, so you've got beads or buttons or pebbles. Some children like to position in sort of egg boxes or muffin trays. And obviously, if your child might be a Braille user in the future, it's a really good skill, because you can actually start using a 6-foot muffin tray to teach them around the Braille cell. If your child's younger, they might like to sort by texture. Find me something, you know, itchy or scratchy, find me something soft. So you can sort by lots of different ways, and you can sort things into things like you've got the rings there on the mug tree, or you could sort animals 2 by 2. Find me 2, you know, kangaroos or zebras. So there's lots of options around positioning. They also might want to position themselves in a way, so giving them an option to be sat on a table or be in their little nook is important to them. And if we go into some more pictures here, the Braille cell, yes. So that's Fred learning Braille when he was 4 years old. It's a great start to learning Braille, and something that we still have fun with. Invitations to play. Now, it might feel like a bit of a faff sometimes setting something up, but if it takes a few minutes, it might give you 10 or 15 minutes of free time to have a quick clean up around you. So giving your child a whole list of a whole heap of resources that they can just do what they want with is a nice way for them to practice positioning using Play-Doh and buttons, for example. Or some of the toys in here, very much Montessori style here of toys that they can position, or they can rotate, or they can hold. So having some of those wooden toys are actually quite a nice thing to have. Also the light box. I mean, I could put the light box in every single play schema, but positioning, it plays its role really well. With the right resources and the right contrast with light, your child with minimal vision can actually really get a lot out of positioning their objects on their light box. So, and you can buy one, or you can create one out of a plastic box with some old Christmas lights in. So that's a lovely activity. And you see little Luke here playing with his red tassels. They're positioned perfectly well for him. He has CVI, he has a cortical visual impairment, so the tassels are really nice for him to play with. And then that's his favoured position at the moment. So we've talked a lot about loose parts, a lot about creating opportunities for play. And I just thought I would quickly put a couple of lists together of toys that I think are quite good to buy if you've got some pocket money. These hammer beads, you've got the big ones now, which are brilliant, because the little ones are quite hard to use, although they're really good for fine motor skills. Dr. Zig's bubbles are scented. Lots of things, the light up gloves. These things are little, but actually quite powerful and can lend themselves to lots of different play environments. So I would look at those as optional purchases if you have pocket money to spend, not particularly just for Christmas. And these are some of our favorite. When I asked my friends, my VIP friends, what their favorite toys were, these were the sort of top 10, 11. So Bop It in all its forms, but this one particular was a make your own Bop It, so you could create your own sound and action, which was great. The clicky track, the steering wheel, lots of play with that. And as you go through, you can see these toys are actually quite open-ended. The Tony box to listen to a story as well as play with a little toy on top. The mixing of the light up mixing bowl. The lovely leapfrog toys that have lots of different sounds and effects. And the wonderful little Melissa and Doug latch board, that hours of endless fun really, and it just enables your child just to have that play experience. But you don't have to spend a lot of money, and I don't want, you know, a lot of this experience and a lot of these play schemas can be bought from loose parts and boxes and materials. But I suppose I'd just like to end on saying, just think about your own play experience. Think about yourself as a cooperative play partner. Observe your child and then try and extend their play and try and identify their schema and see how far you can go with it, and have fun. That's the most important thing.
Karen, I can't thank you enough. And as I'm sitting here, and I know so many families are always asking what to get their kiddo, or tell families, and those toys are very valuable. But I would also encourage, so many things can just be done in the kitchen or in the bathroom, in the bathtub. I remember one of Allie's favorite things were those the light sticks for at nighttime, the glow sticks.
Yeah.
And so we would turn the lights down, and we'd have the light on in the hallway, but the door cracked, and we would use the glow sticks as part of bath time. You know, and in the kitchen, you talked about transformation. I mean, how many times do you go to bake something and it starts off and ends up differently? And so many skills that you can just, I think, build in a little extra time in the bathroom and in the kitchen, or, you know, you're headed somewhere for a sporting thing or whatever the case is, just building in a little extra time to really allow for play throughout the day is huge.
And it makes you feel better too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Karen, for all of your knowledge and observations with our children. Thank you.